UK government scientists have published evidence which has underpinned their response to the coronavirus outbreak. The Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, sometimes known as SAGE, has been providing ministers and officials with advice. Well, Sky's Roland Manthorpe joins us now from Westminster. Many people have been calling for publication of this data and the scientific underpinning of the government's approach here. But it does look, doesn't it, when you look into the detail, Roland, like the 12 weeks to send this thing packing doesn't seem to stack up with what the report contains. Yes,
it really does. And I know that when the Prime Minister said that, he was trying to inject, as he might put it, some pep in the nation, give us a bit of hope. But I do wonder if he may come to regret that statement. I mean, what we've just got here is a dozen or so scientific documents. They're long, they're in detail. It's great to have them, and it will take a bit of time to look through them. So I hope you'll forgive me if I just pick out one which seems to me especially important. It's this one. I'm going to hold it up so you can see a little bit of it. It's the consensus view on behavioural and social interventions from the 16th of March. So this is really not kind of a whole load of different opinions which we need to pass. This is what the government advisors generally agreed to be true. There are 5 points here. I think you can see it on your screen. There are 5 points here. And what you're seeing in those points is the government working through its different options. And it explains in very clear terms how we got to where we are today. Point one, what you see there, it was agreed that a combination of case isolation, household isolation and social distancing of vulnerable groups is very unlikely to prevent critical care facilities being overwhelmed. Put simply, what they're saying is just isolating specific groups probably won't work. Point two says that general social distancing is unlikely, or it's unclear whether that will be effective. So they're not really sure about that. Point three, and this brings us up to the present day, they say that they agree that, for example, school closures and household isolation could be effective when it's kept in place for a long period. And now we come to point four, and this is where what I think is really important. Here, they say that these measures, to be effective, would need to be in place for at least most of a year. Quote, under such a policy, at least half of the year would be spent under the stricter social distancing measures. In other words, there'd be a bit of alternation. Half the year we'd be able to have kind of less strict social distancing. Half the year very strict. This is possibly even more strict than we are currently seeing with school closures and everything. That's a year. That is considerably longer than 12 weeks that we are going to be responding to this. And again, I should stress, when what the Prime Minister was talking about, he was talking about flattening the curve or kind of damping down the sombrero, as he likes to put it. He was talking about the medical response. This is the behavioural and social interventions. But reading this, it brings home exactly what this is going to mean for all of us.